We are taking on the job of getting a French drain on either side of the house, because we've had plenty of water intrusion in the basement, and so we're doing what we can to mitigate that. We've been having some pretty major water issues, and a lot of this is attributable to our neighbor's house on both sides of this house that we got. You can see here on the side that we've got water that comes down the side of the house here, as well as this roof comes down over here. And then you can see this beam right here. It's not level. Right at that point, it has sagged, and all the water is in turn coming in this direction. Here's another picture of it, and you can see how deteriorated this is because all this water is running off of here and down this pipe and from this section of the roof all over to this corner. You can see it comes down here, and this ends up being a big pool of water. You can see all the mold that's on that side of the house here. This is a super wet area where the water has just been standing. And so over here is going to be our French drain. Now on the other side of the house, we've got a similar problem. That's their sump right there, just directed right straight out there, which is not code in this area, but of course no inspector caught that. And added to that is, again, a gutter draining towards the back of the house and then down. They have both their sump pump and their gutter draining at the back of our house, and again creating a lot of standing water over here that you've got to make a way to get that water this direction towards the street and as quickly as possible. Before we could get a meter, we had to have a meter pit put in, and so we've already had the plumbers come out and do that. And they dug that trench because underneath that trench is the water line into the house. Since we had the trench on the right side of our house, we thought we'd go ahead and add another one on the left side of our house and put French drains in both places, leading to the street, trying to get all the water that's dumping off in all the wrong places. And there's so many different ways of doing French drains online, and pro companies have different ways of doing it, so we'll show you what we're going to do. Kind of a little bit of everything that we saw out there, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of disagreement, but this is what we think will work best for our solution. And so we've already been working on making sure this is downhill all the way. That's important so the water doesn't pool anywhere, and we pretty much got that done. And so now we got to level out this side a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and get the fabric down, and then we can start with the rock. We've got about 5 yards of river rock, and the reason we didn't use typical driveway gravel, say a number 5 or number 3 or number 8, whatever, is because that tends to compact more and river rock doesn't. And so we want the water to flow through the rocks and not the rocks so that the rocks leave voids. And so that's why we chose that. And plus you can use that or decoratively as well. So you can see there is not a lot of room between the two houses. And for that reason, we do have water issues that we have to make sure we divert to the front. This is from there all the way this way across the yard. This is all downhill. And so we want to just give it a good channel. This is our Geotech fabric. It's DuraWeave. And again, it doesn't filter the water. It does more of the drainage. And if you were looking for more of a filtering fabric, you'd get the DuraWeave right there. But we've got the DuraWeave. We'll have a link in the description below just to see if you were looking for something like that. This is a 100-foot roll. Picked it up at a big box store, probably like $100-ish, something like that. We put the Geotech fabric on the house side of the trench, and on the opposite side, we put this, basically it's landscape fabric. It's water permeable, and that will allow water that builds up on the side farthest from the house to allow the water to go in there and soak in. So we started by laying down the fabric on the house side first, and it's going to go down into the trench and form a little trough, and then we'll cut it off about 6 or 8 inches high on the side opposite the house, so that we can then put the landscaping fabric on the other side and overlapping into the trench. We put rock in the bottom of that, and then the pipe on top of it, and with the holes pointing down towards the ground, towards the bottom of the trench. There we got the white pipe going in, and in certain places, especially where that gutter was that we were talking about earlier, we put a T in there so that we could add a drain that is for directing a lot of water real fast into the pipe, because that particular area is pretty rough. So after we put a bed of rocks down, we put the pipe in. So here we have the T's that we put into the section of the pipe. We cut the pipe in half, put the T in, and then put a vertical section into the T, and ultimately the drain on top of that, but keeping that just below the surface so that water can pour into that. If there's a lot of water and it's accumulating fast, we've made that avenue for the water to get into that drain there. Pretty much we think that the water will be directed quickly enough through the river rock that that drain won't be necessary, but just in case. And there is basically the finished product. Once the pipe passes the front of the house, we went ahead and put solid pipe in there and directed it, and just put a covering of rocks over the pipe and then the dirt over that. The area by the house, we have the river rock from the house over to the trench, and that's basically just to provide an avenue for water just to flow that direction into the trench as quickly as possible. So hopefully that's going to solve our problem, but it certainly can't do any more harm than what we currently have right now. Hope this video helps. If you got anything out of it, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. And be sure and subscribe because we've got more videos coming. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.